Hello and welcome to the second part of the Shopify series. And in this tutorial, we'll learn how to create our brand new Shopify store populated with items from the product CSV that you will find in the Cloneable and enable the API keys that we will need for our Wized setup. I do have two pieces of bad news to share though. So Shopify doesn't natively export all the information onto the CSV, which is basically the meta field values. So that is something that you'll have to manually fill in. And secondly, Shopify also does not support exporting blog articles. So you will also need to copy all the blog articles from the main site onto the store. Now, I would use third-party app for this, but they have a lot of strings attached to it, which makes the import a lot more difficult than it has to. So I do apologize for this. But with that being said, let's move on to the first list on our task, and that is creating a partner account for Shopify. Now, in case if you didn't know, creating an account on Shopify is absolutely free. So we're going to put in Shopify partner here, make a Google search. Okay, so you need to be a Shopify partner to be able to have a free developer account of the sorts. You put in your email and join the Shopify partner. I already have an account, so I'm just going to skip this process and log straight into my partner dashboard. All right, awesome. Now that I'm in here, what you want to do is head over to stores here, and then you want to add a store. So you want to click on create development store. Okay, so I'm going to select create a store to test and build. So I'm going to call this Verdevista. Verdevista tutorial. Perfect. All right, now which build? We're going to leave it at latest build. And then we're going to start off with an empty store since we already have our CSV. So we're just going to go ahead and wait for it to load up. Perfect. Our store is now ready, and we can move on to the second task in hand, which is creating the API for our Wized application. So what we're going to do is click on settings and then head over to apps and sales channels. So straight from here, you want to click on develop apps, allow custom app development. Yes. Okay, so let's create an app, and we're going to call this Wized Store. So let's create that. All right, perfect. So we have two apps here. So we have two access scopes. So we have the admin API, and then we have the storefront API. What we're going to do is basically enable each and every feature that both the APIs have to offer, and we're going to let Wized our Wized app to get access to both the APIs. So we're going to start off with the admin API first. So over here, now you need to select what scope we want the Wized app to have access to, which in this case is going to be each and everything that you see here. So this might take a while because the list is quite long. And I swear there was a button that would allow me to select all of it all together, but I can't seem to find it. Perfect. Okay. And that is that for this. So we're going to go ahead and click on save. Okay, configuration saved. Let's see what we have on API credentials. So we're going to go ahead and click on install app. Click on install. Okay, perfect. So our admin API is done. Now we're going to click here to reveal our token. And one thing that you want to keep in mind is that once this token is revealed, it's not going to be revealed anymore. So you need to make sure that you copy this value and store it somewhere safe, because once it's gone, it's gone. And if you have lost your other copy as well, then again, you'll need to recreate the app from scratch again. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Although I don't need it because I already have my app set up, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so the admin API is done. So we need to work with the storefront API. Oh yeah, there it is. So we're going to go ahead and click configure, and then again, repeat the process over here as well. So the storefront API is for our checkout, I believe. Yeah, this is for our checkout. So I'm going to go ahead, click on save. Okay, and yeah, the storefront API doesn't have a secret token of the sorts. So yeah, we can skip this. So yeah, that's that for our API. Now, next on the list we have is setting up our meta fields. So let's go ahead and do that. So we need to click on custom data and then click on meta fields. Now, in case if you're not familiar with meta fields, what it is it's a way of creating custom fields for your products. It's almost like creating a new field in your WEBFLOW CMS, and then you can assign what kind of field that it is. So that's essentially what we're doing. For this tutorial, we're going to be creating around 5 fields. And every time you create a new field, you want to check this as well. The first one is going to be at a glance. So we're going to call it at a glance. And then we have the namespace and key. Now, to explain what this is, it's namespace is basically a group name for your field. So imagine you have 10 fields and it's assigned to a specific group. So that's what namespace is. It's a group name. And then the key is the name of the field that you're working on right now. So the name of the field is at a glance, and the namespace is custom. So we're going to make sure that this is renamed to product info. So I'm calling it product info, and at a glance is part of the product info group. Hopefully that makes sense. So, and I'm going to skip the description for now. So, and for the field type, I'm going to choose rich text. Go ahead and save that. So right now, you're probably not sure why we're creating this meta field, but of course, we are going to need this in a later video. So yeah, for now, all you need to know is that we need to create this meta field here. All right, so second one we have is the plant preferences. And this is also part of the product info namespace. I'm going to make sure that this is a rich text as well. Make sure that our storefront API gets access to this meta field here. Then I'm going to add another definition, and this is going to be related products. So each and every product that we have needs to have a related products list as well. Product info. And for this one, I believe it's this here. So, and then we select list of products. Use as filter and storefront. Hit save, and then add another definition. Editor testimonial. Product info. So this one is going to be a single line text. I don't think we need to do anything here, but we need to check all these and hit save. And then we have editor testimonial name. This also belongs to product info. This is also going to be a single line text. Make sure that these are all checked and hit save. Now we're going to rearrange this, put it all the way to the top. This goes on to the second one, and then we have the related products. Then we have the actual testimonial and then the testimonial name. Perfect. That's out of the way. All right, now next task that we have on the list is creating our collection. So you want to click on products and then click on collections. Let's get rid of this collection that we have here. Now, the reason why we're doing all this is so that our import goes smoothly as possible. All right, so first on the list, okay, looks like I'm gonna have to refresh the page. Okay, so the first collection that we're going to create is editor choices. And for the editor choices, the collection type is going to be manual. So we're going to manually select what the products that we think is suitable for our editor choices collection. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And then we are going to create another collection, and we're going to call this shop. So for the shop, we want this to be automated, and we want our product vendor is equal to Verdevista. Now our CSV does contain the product vendor. So, and I know that the value is Verdevista. So that's why I'm already assigning Verdevista over here onto the filters. So yeah, that's that for the shop collection list. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Next on the list, we have one more collection to create, and that is selected products. Okay, so this one's going to be manual as well. Apart from that, nothing much over here. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to products, and we're going to click on import products. So I've already have the products export saved onto my desktop, so I'm going to go ahead and import. Yes, import this. Okay, so we're going to wait for this to finish. Okay, all our products have been successfully imported. So let's try clicking on the first product and check it out. Awesome. Everything has been filled in beautifully. So you'll notice that the meta fields are empty. Let me just show you the actual store. So this is our first item here. And if I scroll down, you'll notice that all our meta fields have been filled in. Like I mentioned, Shopify natively does not copy the values for the meta field. So this is something that you will have to manually fill in, unfortunately. If I go back to our newly created store, if you scroll up, the other thing that you need to fill in manually again is the inventory for this product. So let's say I'm going to adjust this by 20. So there we go. That's the second thing that you need to fill in. The third is the collection. So as you can see, this product has already been added to our shop. So yeah, you need to fill in the collections as well. But I'm going to circle back to the collections. Other than that, everything else is fine. Now, if I scroll back down to the meta fields, let me just point out where each of the field is, how these fields are connected to the existing design right now. So we have at a glance plan preferences. So if I take you to the store now, I'm going to head over to shop. Okay, so scrolling down, you notice that we have overview and then at a glance and plant preferences. So if you remember correctly, we have rich text for plant preferences, rich text for at a glance, and rich text for overview. So if I go back to our store, so your at a glance is coming from here, plant preferences is coming from here as well, and for the overview, it's coming straight from here, which is also a rich text. So, and then we have related products, which is a reference field. So if I go back to the store, you'll notice that if I scroll down, we have these products here that we can manually assign as well. So if I go back to the tutorial here, so yeah, that's what the related products is for. So I can go ahead, select any other items from the shop. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to click out of this. Then we have the editor testimonial and editor testimonial name. So let me go back to our site here and click on, head over to homepage. So if you scroll down, you'll notice that we have this section here, which is the editor choices section, where we have 3 selected products. Well, basically the editor's choice. And we have our testimonial here and the testimonial name. So that's where this is coming from. So we have it for 3 products. So if, again, because you need to manually fill this in, you can select any 3 products that you think you want to dedicate to the editor's choice, or you can copy this from the demo site if you want to. This is completely up to you. Okay, so let's go back into the store. I think that is pretty clear as to what needs to be done here. Now let's move on to the collections. So if I click on shop, you'll notice that all our products, so we have 40 items in our shop. So all of them are here. And then if we move on to our selected products, now this collection is also found on the home page in our design. So if I scroll down, we have our editor's choices, which is coming from the editor choices collection, and then we have our selected products. So for the selected products, we are only showing 8 products. This can be any 8 products that you like. So you can assign any other products that you want to. This is completely up to you. So yeah, select any 8 products of your choice and make sure that you assign it to the collection list. And that is that for our collection list, our products, our API, and pretty much setting up the store. Now, lastly, before I sign off, the blog, as I've mentioned, cannot be imported onto the store. So you'll find the blog post right over here. So as you can see, we don't currently have any blog posts, but if you decide that you would like to follow along the tutorial, I would advise you to have at least 5 test blog articles that you can copy from the demo site and just, paste it over to the store. Now, when you're creating a blog article, the first thing that you want to do is, of course, set this to visible, have the title, the content, the featured image, and everything filled in. But for the blog, except for it's assigned to news, which is the default, you want to assign it to create a new blog, and we're going to call this blog. So we don't want to call it news, we just want to call it blog. So yeah, make sure that every article that you create is assigned to blog. So let me show you what this looks like in the actual Shopify store. So I'm going to select the blog posts, and you'll notice that all my blogs are here. So I'm going to click on one of the blog here, scroll down, and you'll notice that I have this new category called blog. So yeah, also make sure to fill in the SEO title and the description, because this is something that's going to be important for the tutorial. Now that is if you decide that you would like to follow along for the blog article. If not, then you can completely skip this out. But yeah, again, we will be circling back to all this in a later video, and hopefully that wasn't too difficult to follow. So yeah, I'm going to conclude the video here, and I will see you on the next tutorial where we will finally kick off with our Wized build. I'm really looking forward to it.